Indeed. Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a little bit more Shadows over Loathing. Now, I have totally forgotten what we were doing. I think we need to go, some place and do some things. Possibly back to... I can't remember. Let me look at the to-do list. I remember we were speaking to the man. We were speaking to the man about the evidence of the missing cremains. Yes. So let me go back to the cathedral and speak to the chap there and see what we can find. Obi stops you and calls your attention to a small park that the two of you are walking past. Look, there's a fair number of folks out today. Are we in a hurry? I guess not. Why? He pulls his oboe out of his case and then drops 2 meat in his hat and hands it to you. I'm thinking it's a crying shame to waste such an opportunity. An opportunity to sell me your hat? You got it backwards. I'm supposed to pay you. Are you jiving me? Yeah, I'm just kidding. But you are a cat who is frequently difficult to read. I'm also a cat who finds it frequently difficult to read, but never mind. You pass the hat while Obi belts out some tunes, and the two of you split the take afterwards. Excellent. Yes, let's go back here and see if we can speak to the, excuse me, my friend. See if we can speak to the man about... I didn't see this before. This is a hell of a cross expression. He is really cross about the fact that you only turn up to church on Christmas Day and never the rest of the year. Okay. Can I speak to him about the... Oh no, I still haven't found them. Ah, dear. Don't worry, don't get your rosa rings in a tizzle. Okay then, so we can't speak to him yet then, so, we'll have to do other things, and I've totally forgotten what all of that was. So let me go back to him for a second and just, see if I can, remind myself what it was that we needed to do with him. While meandering the streets of Ocean City, you encounter a man carrying a medium-sized piece of luggage. Not brief enough to be called a briefcase, but unsuitable as a suitcase for more than 2 suits. Hey there, friend, you look like someone who appreciates a fine pair of pants. I mean, for the first 3 weeks of this series, I was wearing no pants at all. What does that even look like? Astute and discerning, dare I even say. Perspicacious. I've never even met a man who dared to say that word. I've never met anyone who could have pronounced that word before. Listen, I have a pair of pants here that's going to knock your socks off, so I'm going to have pants on but no socks. This seems like a trade-off. He opens his case and pulls out a fancy pair of slacks that are oddly stiff and shiny. Feast your eyes on these. What's up with them? Waxed slacks. What a phrase. Additional sleeves, armor. These durable wax-infused trousers. Grease will slide off you like grease off a duck's legs. I mean, naturally. They're waxed, guaranteed. Well, I'm glad to know that they're hygienic, but that isn't the point. Guaranteed grease-proof, and they're yours for a mere 20 minutes. Alright, fine. I think I've still got them work pants from earlier, but we shall see. We shall see if these compare. Maybe our sleaze damage will come in handy for something or other. Let me have a look. What did these do? Those increase my maximum HP, so I will keep these around for later. But for the time being, I think I will. I'll keep my work pants on for the times being. All right. What was I doing? Oh yeah, we can talk to the urns, can't we? I'd forgotten about that. This poor man has fallen fast asleep. All right. Let's tie up what we were doing here and see if we can speak to Pegleg Johnny. Hello? The urn does not respond. Is there anybody there? Imitate the captain's voice. Who, Captain Janeway? You look around to make sure the captain is asleep and then muffly gruffle into the urn. You're there, old Johnny. You can speak freely now, sailor. I got rid of that accent because frankly it would take a lot of effort of the audience to survive listening to that infernal tripe all day. I got rid of that no-good landlubber. A muffled, youthful-sounding voice replies, Yar, Captain, what'n you wantin' anyhow? Nothing of import, your basic landlubber prattle, trying to sell newspapers and like that. Pay no mind. Oh, they're talking about me. Keep talking to them. What else do you have to say? How are things? No problems. Everything ship-shape. Always happy to chew the sea biscuit with you, though. Let's reminisce about olden times. I love hearing your stories of nautical adventures. Instead of that, why don't you tell me how you got your name Pegleg Johnny? Well, it's because of my leg, right? I've got a peg leg? Sure. How did you get it? I got it because I lost the original leg. Well, yes, I'd assumed that much, but how exactly did you end up in the situation by which you had lost a leg in the first place, and thus required the addition of an additional one? You weren't there when it happened. Time for my nap. Talk to you later. What about Handsome Jeff? Smooth sailing, Captain. Feel like talking over old times? Why not? Right then, what particularly yarn from the past have you got in your mind? Let's talk about you. Me? The fellow next to you is named less Handsome Jeff, aye? So this is a judgment of your relative appearances literal, or is it more of an ironic reversal sort of deal? Oh, a sort of Big John thing. Well, you never. Wait a minute, you don't remember what we actually look like? I mean, of course I do. I also remember that I look awful and I need to go to the hairdressers. Goodbye. Anything on your mind? Like what? I don't know. Just if you wanted to wax nostalgic about old times. Okay. Right, so, yar. Righty then. About old times, indeed. Right you are. Them old times we had together. We sure did. So many of them. I'm so glad we had this. How about that local sports team? Right then. Everything going alright? Cloud and sky. Good. Chat and mood? Why not? Didn't get much chat out of the last bloke. You know me, Cap. I'm a man of few words and all that. Happen to listen, though. Right, well, actually, I was wondering about your name there. Barnacle Face? What about it? Is his name really Barnacle Face? Reminds me of the crew of Davy Jones in that Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Oh, I was just wondering. Of course, I know why, but if you have any insight into... I mean, you've never actually said. That is, you've never actually asked, though. I'd have thought you would already. Yeah, right, obviously. I mean, why already? However, if you're not comfortable discussing it, that's fine. Okay. Yar. Okay, well, that wasn't very productive. How goes it? I'd ask what's new, but, how things? Not a talkative one, are you? I suppose you never were coming out. Oh, I could use some smokes. Smokes, as in cigarettes? Aye. What does an urn want with cigarettes? I would have thought you'd had a rather bad experience when it comes to being burned. So I would have thought you'd want to stay away from the fire, but never mind. Well, alright then. Just leave them on the table as usual, please. Okay. Maybe if I find some cigarettes, then I can possibly achieve something with this. Also, quite possibly not. Okay then. So we've remembered what we need to do then. We need to find some... cigarettes. Alright, that shouldn't be particularly difficult to find in the 1920s. Let's see where we're going next. I have no idea. Let's go here. If I remember correctly, this was the lodging house of the travelling salesfolk. Opie stops at the entrance to an alleyway and looks around. Hold up a second. I'm hearing a familiar melody. I don't know anything. I mean in a metaphorical sort of way. Something I'm right on the edge of remembering. He taps one foot in thought for a moment, then his eyes brighten and he snaps his fingers. Climbing up onto some trash bins, he pulls down a box that's wedged behind some drain pipes. What a thing to forget! Come here. What's that? He opens the box, revealing some smaller boxes and some tin cans. Genuine Cola Wars rations, pork and beans. That is definitely a Fallout reference. Hardtack bread and a whole can of cola syrup and carbonation tablets. You were in the war? No, but I can carry a tune, but my feet are flat. Plus I got conscientious objector status on account of being a pepper. This stuff is army surplus stashed away against leaner times. You weren't planning on eating that now, were you? Even in cans, it's still 10 years old at least. The beans and bread, no. This syrup stuff, this stuff don't go bad. It goes good. Oh, giddy. He pulls out a church key and punches a hole in the can. Nice hiss, and takes a swig. His eyes go wide. Now that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, just keep talking about it and don't experience it ever again, and we'll all be happy. Right then, what does this say? Nice lady, but she only likes salesman. Ah, not super useful for a non-hobo, but at least you have some translation practice. Indeed. Okay then. So that is indeed a clue about the houses. The door is not locked inside, I suppose. Yes, let's go inside and see if we can meet any other salespeople, see what else we can buy and bankrupt ourselves with. At the moment we're actually supposed to be earning money for the sake of bribing those guards rather than paying off money, but never mind. Never mind. As you enter the boarding house, you discover some kind of hullabaloo, or perhaps a kerfuffle. A stern-looking middle-aged lady and is surrounded by 6 agitated men. And they are all talking over each other. Gentlemen, I insist you settle down at once. We won't go to the bottom of this with you all acting like panicked schoolchildren. Miss Brewster, you have to call the cops. Ha! What this town calls police, I wouldn't trust to solve a jigsaw puzzle, let alone a serious crime, and I won't have those hooligans turning my house upside down. But there's murder. Somebody has to do something. What you can all do is go to your rooms and let me think. Goodness gracious. The men file up the stairs, abashed but still fidgeting nervously. I don't mean to interrupt, but I happen to be a professional police officer, sort of, in the sense that I've lied about it. Excuse me. Mrs. Brewster sighs exasperatedly. I'm sorry, I have no vacancies. Or, well, I suppose I do, but I can't let you have the room until the whole mess has been sorted out. One of those men said something about a murder. Yes, it's absolutely ghastly. One of my lodgers was murdered in the night. Nobody saw or heard anything. I'm practically at my wit's end. I'll give you some help, probably. I'm definitely a police officer, definitely. I mean, I do have the sort of scary shades on, so maybe that helps. Maybe I can help. I'm sort of an independent investigator of things. Like the Belgian fellow in the mystery novels. Definitely. I have no idea who you're referring to. The only person I can think of with a vaguely continental-sounding name is Poirot, and I'm not entirely sure if he's Belgian. I think he's French, but I could be mistaken. Please berate me if I am wrong. Well, that's marvellous. If you can solve the mystery, I shall pay you quite reasonably. Alright, I like your lack of enthusiasm. It's a deal, thank goodness. What can you tell me about the victim? Here's a travelling salesman. All my lodgers are travel salesmen. What did he sell? Oh, they come and go so frequently, I'm afraid I haven't the foggiest idea. Well, how did he die? Other than being murdered, of course. I'm not sure. The body is... How do you know he's dead, then? How do you know he didn't just up and leave without paying his rent? You better go and have a look for yourself. He was in 3C. I locked the door so nobody else would mess around. Okay, I shall do my best and see if we can solve a crime. Oh, dear. The radio plays agreeable music at a polite volume. If only it did that in nightclubs, then I might actually attend the accursed things. This potted plant saw nothing. Okay, wrong way. There's a little note next to the phone that says, please do not use the phone. What is it with the phones in this game and none of them work? Crying out loud. Not a crumb to be found on the dinner table. Mrs. Brewster keeps the place spick and span. So many phrases I haven't heard in decades. Can we see these? Tiny oil paintings of various previous borders. How curious. The bathroom door is locked. Fiddlesticks. I cannot do investigatings there. Only Mrs. Brewster is allowed into the kitchen. Okay, let's go upstairs. Yes, so I'm actually going to, should probably mention this at some point. It is a communal hat rack, but nobody's using it at the moment. We all do seem to have our hats on, don't we? Yes, I'm going to make sort of 2 slight alterations to the series going forth. Firstly, I've realised we're on the wrong floor. Firstly, I've decided to increase the length of the videos due to these small file sizes. I suppose stilettos over there. No, the stilettos. Some high-heeled shoes have been carelessly left in the hallway. You're not sure which aspect of this would upset Mrs. Brewster the most. Probably the theft. Please, please, please tell me that I'm not expected to put these on, he says, pressing the wrong button. Yes, makes your steps higher. Oh, for goodness sake, it's like they took that stupid walking perk from the first game and then decided, let's kind of disaggregate this, chop it up into each of the particular components of stupid walking, and then have a different pair of shoes that bring out each set. For crying out. Okay, so I'm going to increase the length of the episodes. They're probably about 90 minutes from now on, because the file sizes are very small, so I see no reason to not do slightly longer episodes for the sake of giving you more each week. I'm also going to try and be a little bit more sort of conversational, because I realised in the last episode I ended up just reading things rather than talking very much, so I don't want to just turn into an audiobook of the game, so I shall attempt to be a little bit more commentary. The 2 pointed leaf plants are holding the Frondy one hostage. How naughty. Can I get involved in a scuffle? No. That's good. Right then. Which one do I want? I think I want this from here. The site of the incident. Unlock the door. You unlock the door and put the key in the secret pocket you use for things that won't ever need to be referred to again. Oh dear. You step into room 3C and discover a massive pool of blood, and as Mrs. Brewster said, there's no body in sight. Oh goodness. That's either a carpet or a really overly achieved satanic pentagram. This throw rug looks pretty ordinary. You roll up the rug, and underneath it there's a crazy occult diagram. There's a crazy occult diagram on the top of the thing as well, but never mind. The lines and glyphs appear to have been burned into the floor. You see little blobs of metal candle wax at the points of the dodecagram. I think that's a 10-sided shape, I could be mistaken. And it even smells faintly of weird incense. Is this some sort of ritual killing? Great! Like a regular old murder wasn't difficult enough to solve. Oh dear. Creepy occult thing. Yes, indeed. Here we go again. Why am I so good at fishing in this game? An ordinary wash basin. No clues here, but there's only a mirror. Check yourself for clues or do fishing. I thought it was going to be fishing for clues at first, but alright. Let's do some fishing and see what we find. Another handful. What? Why is this a thing? And the word cure as well. That makes it sound like an affliction, as if being on fire is... I mean, it is kind of something you can contract from another person who has the affliction of being on fire, but that's not the point. Let me check myself for clues. I see any funny things there? Seemingly not. I also didn't realise that actually the little picture dick going down the side does the different faces as well, which is nice. How many more of these can I have? Okay, right. I think that's about everything. Anything in the cupboard? This wardrobe is locked. How mysterious. The window is locked, so the killer must have come from inside the house. Oh, interesting. Either that or we just left by that. Oh no. As if it couldn't get any worse. Is there even this much blood inside of a person? Do some fishing. Do I particularly need it to be a salty fishing rod for the achieving of this? Nothing. Must be shallower than it looked. I could have told you that, if you'd only asked. Nothing interesting about this bed, apart from that it's next to an enormous pool of blood. Oh, goodness. We haven't even got, like, proper forensic evidence or anything to go by. Okay, something occulty has been going on. Let me go down and tell Mrs. Brewster about the cult. Mrs. Brewster, there's a cult in your house. Did you find anything? A huge pool of blood. It was very gross. Anything else? Indeed, an occult ritual circle. My goodness, you think it was some sort of black magic sacrifice? I'm afraid it looks that way. Well, I've always felt a lodge's religion was no business of mine, but I won't stand for this one little bit. I don't know if your lodge is involved in the occult, as you know. I do recall that one of them specialises in selling occult supplies and paraphernalia. I am not sure which one. You will have to ask around. Well, thank you for the tips. I appreciate this. Dear, I should warn you that I'm usually very bad at these sort of detective games. You know, like, I've played one or two of, like, those Sherlock Holmes games where you're meant to, like, investigate and collect the clues and then you figure out who the actual killer was. I'm usually really bad at them, so this may go disastrously wrong, but, let us have a chat. Who's there? I'm not opening the door with the killer on the loose. I'm investigating the murder. Do you have any information that would help? There's a salesman here who specialises in occult stuff. That's not seriously suspicious of me. What room is he in? I'm not sure, but it isn't the one above me. He doesn't live at the same end of the hall as the victim, either. Okay, so it could be... When you say above you, do you mean directly above you? So he's not in, like, 3A, and he's not at the same end of the hall, so he's not at, like, 3D. Interesting. Let's see what other clues we can get, so we piece together all the information. You knock on the door and a salesman sticks his head out. Oh, hello, I know you. You were the guy selling pants, right? What's up? Want to buy some more pants? No thank you, I'm all pantalooned up. I'm investigating a murder. Ah yes, very grisly business. Do you know the other salesmen that live here? Not really, just the guy who sells those little D-ringer pistols. Oh, I've bought one of those as well. He was complaining about the guy who lives right above him. That's the trinkets and baubles guy, because he makes a racket dropping stuff on the floor at night. Probably doesn't help much, either. Well, it's something. Thank you. Maybe it's the guy above the D-ringer. You knock and try the knob, but the door is locked. Room 2D. But But really, they're all 2D when you think about it. Crying out loud. Hello! You knock on the door and a nervous-looking salesman peeks out. I'm warning you, I armed. Oh, I know you. Yes, I think we've met before. You sell the little guns, right? That's right. You should buy one. There's a murder on the loose. Actually, I've already bought one and I'm investigating the murder. I'm glad somebody is. What do you know of the other salesman here? I know there's a guy who sells occult stuff. I give him a wide berth, though. All I know about him is that he doesn't live in the room below the sunglass salesman. Neither of them of the victim, by the way. Interesting. Interesting. So they're all giving me, like, individual clues to help me narrow things out. It's interesting, because he said the Pants Man said that Gunman lives below Bauble Man, who I think is here. Is this Bauble Man? I'm investigating the murder. How well do you know the other salesman here? I don't know any of them. I think there's a guy who sells brushes, whose name is with a guy who sells pants. Curious. Is that the guy in room 2A? I don't think we got what he did, though. Okay, so I think 2A is the guy who sells pants. Unfortunately, something slightly inconvenient has happened and the cat wishes to come in. So I'm going to have to go and do that. Please don't get murdered in the process. Right, how full is the morgue? How many people died while I was away? Hopefully nobody. Alrighty then. Let's just continue with what we were doing. Let's see who we've got in here. We meet again. Sunglasses man. We're both wearing our sunglasses indoors, which is totally deplorable, but never mind. I'm investigating the murder. No kidding. I was hoping you could give me some information about the people who live here. I don't really know any of these guys. There's a fella that sells jokes and gags on the floor somewhere, I think. There's a guy selling pants, but that's all I can tell you. But all I can tell you about him is that he isn't... What? All I can tell you about him is that he isn't the guy right below me. The guy selling pants is not the guy right below you. He's the guy below you and next door. Yeah, he's the guy below this one, I think. A salesman looks out of the keyhole, presumably, given that we can't see him, but never mind. Who are you? I'm investigating the murder. What can you tell me about the people who live there? I pretty much keep to myself. All I know is that the other salesman is the one who sells jokes and gags, isn't the one who lives next to the one who lives above. All I know about the other salesman is that the one who sells jokes and gags isn't the one that lives next to the one who lives above the one who sells brushes. Thanks. Did I speak to this guy? The brushes salesman lives next to the pants salesman. Right. I am really, really confused, so I'm going to start writing this down. I'm going to create a little map, basically, right? So we've got floor 3, and we've got floor 2. And there we've got A, B, C, and D on both of these floors. What we want to try and do is identify what each one of them sells so that we can figure out which one might possibly be the man of murdering. Okay, 3A is sunglasses, so let me write, so I really should have picked up a bigger piece of paper because this piece of paper is not large enough for this. A sells sunglasses, and Jokes and Gags does live on the 2nd floor, so Jokes and Gags is not on the 3rd floor. Okay, that's fair enough. What did you say? You said the real confusing thing, didn't you? No, you didn't. The salesman isn't the one who lives next to the... No, you are the one that said the real confusing thing. I'm really sorry I bothered you. You're the victim, aren't you? So 3 is the victim. Let me see, what else have we got? We've got Pandman here. You're Pandman, right? Yes, you're Pandman. In 2B. What did you say? The guy who sells D-ringers lives under the guy who sells trinkets. Okay, now where did D-ringer live? He lived in one of these two, didn't he? Presumably this one. Yeah, so you sell the D-ringers, which means the trinkets must be in D. Curious. That's trinkets. We suddenly realise Phil can't spell. Don't kill me! Oh, it's you. Thank you very much. The occult salesman doesn't live in the room below the sunglasses salesman. And they're both still alive. Indeed. So who does live under the sunglasses salesman? We haven't identified that yet. Who is this fine fellow over here? The guy who sells occult stuff doesn't live above me, true, and he doesn't live at the same end of the hall as the victim. So that implies that Trinkets Man is not the killer. Because if the occult guy is the killer, then the occult guy is not the same as the Trinkets guy, because Trinket guy is in 3D, which is the same end of the hall as the victim. So that's interesting. So the folks that we haven't identified are 3B, 2A, and 2C. So who's in here? This one seems to be empty, or at the very least no one's talking. So there's Brushes Man, and there's something else. Who was in B? You were the really, really bloody confusing man, weren't you? The salesman who sells jokes and gags isn't the one who lives next to the one who lives above the guy who sells brushes. Now that's confusing, because I don't know where Brushes lives. I have no idea where Brushes live. Who mentioned something about Brushes? There's Jokes and Gags seller who lives on this floor. So that must be B then, because A is sunglasses, C is the victim, and D is Trinkets, unless Trinkets and Jokes and Gags is the same. But we'll presume for the moment that it's not, otherwise that would be very confusing. So I'll write Jokes and Gags here. Presumably by gags you don't mean ball gags. So I think we've identified them. So that means that the Brushman and the occult guy must be on the second floor. Alrighty then. Just that the Brushman lives next to Salesman, which presumably is A, because that's directly next door to Pantman, as opposed to across the hallway and across the staircase from Pantman. So we shall say that a Brushes Man lives in 2A, probably, hopefully. So the only one that we don't know anything about is C, which is the silent room. So where was the note of confusion that we had earlier? That's here. Make sure everything's alright, seems to be. He isn't the one who lives next to the one who lives above the one who sells brushes. So the guy who sells brushes is in 2A. The guy above him has sunglasses, so Jokes and Gags isn't the one who lives next to sunglasses. So he's not in 2B, so he's not you. But it does seem like the other notes are implying that Jokes and Gags is in 2B. So if Jokes and Gags is not in 3B. If Jokes and Gags is in 3B, he must be in 2C in the silent room, because that's the only place where we haven't identified an occupant. So let me strike off Jokes and Gags in 3B for the second, and let me reread all the other information to see if I've missed anything. You want to go out again? She comes in, demands food, and then leaves. She's a cat. I don't know why I expected. Okay, so rereading all the information, the summary that I seem to be able to identify is that this guy sells brushes, this guy sells pants, this guy sells the D-ringers, this is the door of mystery, this is the victim, this is the trinkets, I think. This guy has sunglasses. Now this guy in the mystery room, they could both possibly be the Jokes and Gags guy. They could also both possibly be the occult guy. The problem is that we've got two conflicting statements, because this guy says Jokes and Gags lives on this floor, which means it's B. This guy says Jokes and Gags isn't the one that lives next to the one who lives above the guy who sells brushes. So the guy who sells brushes is 2A, above him is 3A, which is sunglasses, next door to that is B, which is this door right here. So he's saying he's not Jokes and Gags man, which means he must be... Unless Jokes and Gags is the victim. Do you think the victim is one of these guys? Because if so, that completely throws out my my ability to work this out. Unless there's anything in the victim's room that would give me a clue as to what his profession was. But there isn't, is there? I do not believe so, no. So yeah, it's just the fact that there's those two conflicting statements. He says he's on the 3rd floor, but he says Jokes and Gags is on the 2nd floor. And even then, I don't really know who the occult guy is. I'd assume it's the trinkets guy, but I can't actually, like, accuse anybody. What can I say? Who lives in 2C? They didn't answer. The door is still locked. That's because 2C is my room. Aha. Can I have a look inside? Certainly not. That's private. Can't imagine I would kill one of my own lodgers. That'd be terrible for business. You do make a good point there. Okay, so that really helps, actually. That does, because that's Mrs. Brewster in the room of mystery. So that answers that question, then. So then that implies that Jokes and Gags guy is in 2B, which is in line with what you say. Jokes and Gags, who lives on this floor, in 3B, which means I reckon this guy is telling a lie about where Jokes and Gags guy lives. Because Jokes and Gags, not goats and not goats. He doesn't tell goats, for crying out loud. The Jokes and Gags guy is lying because I think he's the occult guy. I think you're a fibber, but I don't know how to accuse you of telling fibs. So I'm in a bit of a pickle. I don't really know how to actually continue. Does it say anything about what I'm supposed to do? Talk to the various travelling salesmen in the boarding house until you figure out who sells occult goods, then report back to Miss Brewster. Yeah, I think it's the Jokes and Gags guy. I think I figured out who the occultist is. Are you certain you know which one is? I don't want to have you accusing the wrong fellow. Oh no. He'll either confess or give us some usable information. No, I was thinking it was the Trinkets guy. It can't be the Trinkets guy because it said it's not the same end of the hall as the victim, and Trinkets guy is next door to the victim in 3D. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's 3B. Alright, we shall gather everyone together at the scene of the crime, so you can do a dramatic reveal like in the novels. Alright, if you want to. I must say, this whole murder business is simply dreadful, but it is the most interesting thing that happened here in years. Indeed. You head up to 3C. After a few minutes, Mrs. Brewster meets you there with the salesman in tow. Alright, I suppose you're all wondering why I've called you here today. I'm assuming it's so you can tell us who did the murder. Yeah, that would be my guess too. Well, to be honest, yes, and the big pile of blood over here was a little bit of a giveaway as well. But other than that, there's still an air of mystery behind my mysterious shades. Right then. Well, as you can see by the weird circle on the floor, this killing probably had occultist significance. Therefore, the most likely is the occult goods salesman, which I think is... Can I really accuse the guy in 2C, which is Mrs. Brewster's room? I'm going to accuse 3B and probably get myself murdered in the process. Well, he's got a pentagram on his hat, so that's encouraging. What? No! I mean, yes, I do sell occult supplies, but that isn't even one of my circles. Are you actually accusing me of murder? Well, I do think you're the only likely candidate around here. I mean, who else would it be? That's crazy! You're crazy! I'll tell the cops. But suddenly the wardrobe door flies open and a salesman jumps out. Haha, I fooled you all pretty good. Who are you? I am the victim. I sell Jokes and Gags. How do you like my new giant fake rubber pool of blood? Isn't it a scream? You're gonna scream, mate, when I strangle you with it after wasting my time for half an hour. Crying out. Oh dear, it's like those dreadful hotels you go to where they have like a murder mystery evening and they all like play it out in the lobby. Let me give you something for being a good sport. Wear it with good health. The Foot's Ring. What is this? Makes you more likely to encounter travelling salesmen. That's nice. This ring bears the insignia of the Fraternal Order of Travelling Salesmen, which is difficult to make out in the small size, but it might be a farmer's daughter. Alright. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to roll this blood back up, and 9 people in this tiny room is 8 too many. Okay. Okay. Did I get the answer right, or not? Because I'm really confused. On the plus side, no one's dead, which is lovely. Apart from when we're dealing with nasty people, in which case it's not so lovely. But never mind, that's a debate for another day. I think we did accuse the... We did accuse the occulty guy, right? Which is good. I suppose. Probably. Maybe. Possibly not. I don't know, I'm not Holmes. That could have gone worse. The occultist gentleman was quite offended by your accusation, but I believe he'll get over it. Here is your pay, young man. That was paltry for what I did, but never mind. Glad to be of help. I'd say I'd call you if I ever visited your services again, but I think one exciting thing happening here every few years is quite sufficient. If it happens again, I'm just going to throw everyone out and go to bed. That seems quite reasonable. Okay, have I finished that little side quest then? Presumably. Yes, yeah, find some cigarettes for the restless guy, even. Okie dokie then, I reckon we've finished our little murder mystery then. Let us go somewhere else. I don't know where we're going. Let's go to Hiram's and see what we find here. Milk! Dentif rice. Indeed, I don't think that's a word. Beer, suit, and fruit cocktails. Indeed, more words that aren't words. Fair enough. What? Leave this run-of-the-mill, runty, rundown store where you run afoul of runagates, giving you a runaround, and also run-on sentences. What are you blabbering on about? A filthy trash can. Dig through it? You know it, baby! A single shoe. Oh, I didn't get time to read that because I pressed the button by accident. Can I put the single shoe on? He said pressing the wrong button thrice. Yeah, saves you the trouble of using both your feet for walking. The other one must have gotten lost in the shoe shine stand. What does this do? Oh, for crying out loud. Can I just find a decent pair of bleeding shoes? Who are you, my good friend? A bored-looking hobo lounges around the wall of a decrepit building. Hello there. Hello there. Mumble. Hello. Oh, small place. Samuel? I'm looking for Hiram's groceries. Is this it? It was. Went out of business. When? Couple of months. You've been standing here the whole time? Kitty, he's a shy sort, isn't he? Reminds me when I was a kid. What are you doing here? I was just waiting. Waiting for what? Some work? Oh, you're looking for work? I don't think I'm going to find any work here, mate. Considering the store is pretty thoroughly closed, I don't think I'm going to find any work here. Doesn't look to me like there's not going to be another store opening here anytime. Give him some meat. Here. Take a cab to a different store or something. Thank you. He tips his hat and whistles for a passing cab. I didn't ask him for a lesson of languages, but never mind. Never mind. Maybe he'll turn up a bit later. Can I go through here? With my crowbar, indeed. The door is not excited about the idea of you going through it. Well, it's better get excited because it's happening whether it likes it or not. Goodness, that was a bit more vicious and vicious than I expected. I had no idea I had a light. Of this I am grateful. I also didn't know that invented lights in this year, but never mind. This shelf is littered with various pieces of trash. Oh, this must be where I store all my jokes. Some lip balm. You find a mercifully unopened tube of lip balm. Well, that's going to be useful given the weather that's coming soon. Even mice would be disappointed with this shelf. It's an empty shelf, unless it's definitely empty. But wait! Listen, it's empty, I promise. Fine. Oh wait, what's this? Say, there's nothing here. You little tease. Now, this shelf is so empty it doesn't even have a shelf. The only thing left here is a pair of rusty tongs. Some barbecue tongs. Oh, for crying. Just tell me these aren't a weapon and I'll be pleased. You grab the tongs, wishing you had a different pair of tongs with which to do it. Is it yes, it is a weapon. Oh dear. Equally symbolic of idyllic summer relaxation or flesh searing carnage. Oh gosh. Right then. Deals your mysticality plus 2 hot damage, as opposed to my current pistol, which does my moxie plus 2 physical damage. So I think that's roughly the same sort of thing. Okay, nothing but trash on this shelf. Okay, let's see what else we can find. The counter is dusty and abandoned looking, and again the till machine seems to be facing the wrong direction, but never mind. The register is empty unless you know somebody who accepts mouse droppings as currency. I do not. Look behind the counter. Ooh. You find an old invoice for a shipment for a Snackle Mills factory, which is marked as having never arrived. The factory's address is listed. Right then. Can I... My eyes are really needing to adjust. It doesn't surprise me really, because I'm wearing my sunglasses indoors. Okay then, let us go to the factory and see what we can find. A fast-talking salesman approaches you and starts his pitch before you can get across the line. Say there, would you like to buy a set of encyclopedias? What's the difference between the first no and the fifth no? No, thank you. I thought you might say that. Understandable. What if I told you there is no other ordinary encyclopedia? Do you think that's... Do you think... Crying out, let me go a bit more slowly. Do you think that's something you're likely to sell me? So it's likely to be certain. Step a little closer, would you? Alright, fine, why not? You take a step closer towards you. Who opens his trench coat to reveal a set of dog-eared paperback books? This is no collection of boring facts. This is Encyclopedia Blue, a multi-volume collection of ludicrous. A trove of truly tasteless treasure. It's a set of dirty books, precisely, and it's yours for the obscenely low price of 200 me. Surely shocking jokes. The complete set. A set of dog-eared paperback books filled with offensive jokes. Somebody must have carefully assembled this set out of individual volumes found in filthy public bathrooms. Grants the upgradable skill, them all. If there was anybody in this world that was going to get a perk about rubbish, dirty jokes, it was going to be me, myself, and my empty wallet. Okay, fine. The man takes your meat and winks it. I don't want him to take my meat, frankly, given the concepts we're talking about right now. Are we done here? What are you waiting for? I want to watch you read it. Oh, you pervert. Go away. Let's just read this dreadful book. The world's sleaziest jokes, culled from the world's sleaziest toilet stalls. If you can stomach these, there won't be much left in heaven or earth that can scandalize you. Be shocked. Indeed. And Pitt the Elder said, "Why, under the wig of a wig, my dear." Huh? What? Oh no, that's disgusting. What on earth are you talking about? I think wig was was it an old title or was it an old surname in like old sort of Georgian England, I think. Sort of Pitt the Elder was old Prime Minister or something. Oh, I can't remember. There's still a lot of filth to wade through here. Oh, I see. So I can do that to upgrade my Sleazelicious armor. Okay, fine. That's a thing that I've got. So I can sort of upgrade that by continuing to read the books. Have I still got the copies of the book? Yes, I have. Okay then, right. Can I afford anything else in my 30 XP? Not really. No. Okay then. Let's move swiftly on and see what else we can find before we get arrested for more dreadful jokes. This truck is laden with the crates of snackle cakes, the worst ever food developed. Grab a case for Marvin. You grab a case of snackle cakes. What a phrase. It is a case of snackle cakes. They're the chocolate kind, which you never liked. I don't think I like any of these. Can I speak to any of these rocks and psychoanalyze them? Can I do that? What about this particularly pointy bit? It's a silverlith, a spire of putrefied flour. Oh, is it? I thought it was a moonstone at first. You're getting some powerful grit, which sounds more like a perk than an item, but never mind. This crate is full of baking soda, and the top is there to keep the vinegar from getting to it. What vinegar? Does it rain vinegar in this world? No, I didn't bring my umbrella. Dear oh dear, empty vegetable oil drums. Alright, fair enough. Wanna head somewhere else? Not yet, no. The loading door is slightly ajar. I'ma wiggle my way through. It looks like the abandoned factory has been occupied by one of Ocean City's various gangs of street hoodlums, namely the Doughboys. They're hanging out here in their leather jackets and white aprons, bragging about their sourdough starters, new and rude words like Fococisia. And I presume that's a type of bread? And son of a brioche. At least that much I understand, for crying out loud. Or they were until you made a heck of a racket getting in here. Now they're staring knives at you and also pointing knives at you. And they're bread knives, which are serrated ones. You really don't want to get stabbed with one of them. Oh no. Oh. They're not bread. They're not knives for cutting bread. They're just knives made of bread, aren't they? Can I just steal this? It's a huge mound of loose sugar. This might come in handy for something, I suppose. Oh dear. Okay, do I need to fight you? The Doughboys are clearly less aggressive than the other street gangs, but they are glaring at you and muttering angrily at one another instead of having already attacked you. However, it's also clear that you aren't getting past them without a fight. Wasn't there another door that I could go through though, or is this locked somehow? The front door of the factory. Wait, is this the front door of the factory or the back? Well, I don't know, do I? Okay, I can't go through here yet. Close inspection seems to be rotten shut. Okay then, allow me to scoot my way through here, please. Okay, unless I've got anything that would increase my muscle, of course. What is muscle? Muscle's 2. What might increase my muscle? If you wrap a candle in its tin foil, it's just weird trash. But if you then print the words lip balm on the foil, it's a must-have consumer product. There is a difference between a candle and lip balm, but never mind. Let me see. Have I got anything that would increase my, that might increase my, muscle? Physical damage, these armor, lots of water, silly shoes, nasty goo, broken coconut, for crying out, I forgot about that for a few blissful minutes. Cold armor, gain AP, that's more of a combat item, I think. I don't think I actually do have anything that would really work to get my muscle up. No, I feel I'm in a little bit of a pickle. I could eat the calm jerky. No, the clam jerky. I do sincerely apologise. It's nice to get a gift from a kindly stranger, but it's especially nice when that gift is dried flesh. Ew. Ew. The imagined safety, 1 physical armour. Oh, but I like the cookie, but alright. Alright. You lose the effect of imagined safety and gain the effect of slightly clammier. Ew. That's disgusting. Your body is now approximately 1% clam on the effect of the small amount of clam you just put in it. The swallowing, too. What are you blabbering on about? I don't care to know, and I don't want to be explained. I don't want to have that explained. Let's just go inside. Bash my way in. Okay, this is good, because it means I don't actually have to fight anybody, because I can just walk past them. Test kitchen, some hobo writing on here. What have we got here? This shelf contains a lot of chemicals that don't seem like they ought to be in food. Some miscellaneous chemicals. Solutions. Precipitates and tinctures. You bet. We've got a little bit of everything here. Indeed. This shelf is laden with expired flour. Some mana-enriched flour. What's mana? Ever since the advert of mass-produced magical flour... Oh, I mean naturally. The cost of fire insurance has skyrocketed. You painstakingly collect the last stale grains of flour from each bag and make one big bag of good flour. Oh, whoopty frickin' doodle. Okay, so this isn't like an item I can eat or anything. I can't just shove that in my face. Fair enough. What can I do with some cooking? An arcane oven. For making crafting materials. A glob of futuristic resin, some powerful grits, the glowing ooze, and the flour. What can I do with the flour? A glow nut. Oh, that's pretty good actually. Oh no, that's hot armor. I thought it was normal armor. Never mind. There's all sorts of different things we can make here. Let's make this, please. Yes. You're all out of them. Oh, I see. So the flour's like a fuel. I understand now. What basic foods could I make? Different sorts of things. A hot link. It looks like a great big steaming turd, but never mind. Let us leave these things to their business and engage in a bit of violence. Flower storm. Oh, gosh. What are these things? Banklin the Dough Baby. Ranald the Loafer's Familiar. Oh, they each have a familiar like I do? Oh, these guys are actually much tougher than I predicted that they would be. An unpleasant hymn. Oh, I forgot about that for a minute. Oh dear. This will damage all of your enemies by 3 for each round. That actually sounds pretty decent. I better use that, as opposed to that which would just strike one person for 5. This way, I could probably kill all the familiars in one go. I'm going to wail on my saxophone. Indeed, excellent. Oh, and now I can continue to do other things. What else could I do? I could throw horrible things at them, or I could use one of the grenades. I'd like to do the grenade, but it's also really frickin' dangerous to do the grenade. I'm going to try the grenade on you, even though this is really frickin' dangerous. I really need to stop doing this. Let me just shoot somebody in the face again, get some of my frustrations out. Oh no, I can't use any items to heal myself. We are so gonna die in a minute. What can I do? He will play a hot lick at the loafer, dealing 3 damage. Or he will read his oboe, dealing 1 physical damage, causing 1 bleeding damage. How curious. I think we'll just toot in this direction. And now we're going to die, quite possibly. Yeah, now I think we're going to die. I think now's the time when we do a little bit of dying. Oh dear. I also don't want to use these things because I kind of want to save them for, kind of want to save them. It should not end your turn. You may use more than one composition this turn. Let me kill you. Spiffing. Now you have 9 HP. Is there any way I could possibly kill you? Maybe if I strike you and shoot you, I just might stand it. I love this music, by the way. Let me strike you with my saxophone of Doom and Destiny, and then shoot you in the face with my gun of Destiny. I had no right to survive that, but somehow we managed it. You won! You've defeated some doughboys on their home turf. Some freshly baked roll, which I initially mistook for a hat, but never mind. Say what you will about the effect the doughboys have on the safety and prosperity of Ocean City, but you have to admit they make some nice bread. Increases your muscle by 1. Some clammy dough glob. It has always puzzled you that bread is so pleasant given how unpleasant its ingredients are when you mix them together. Is it? I mean, it's flour and flour, and there's probably other ingredients that go in there as well, but I don't know what they are. I mean, flour on its own is very good, but you know, never mind. If you break a human being down into their constituent tissues and stuff, they don't seem very pleasant either. Mind you, most humans aren't very pleasant now that I think about it, at least most of the ones that I've met. Never mind. The iconic Puppy White Hat of a chef. Nobody knows why they're like this. No, I don't think anyone knows. Okay. Okay. We done a bit of murdering. Can we... Oh, there's more of them. Oh. I thought this packet of snackle cakes was the same as that packet of snackle cakes. I thought coming in this door had brought me to the other side of this group, who were the first groups I saw. Oh, can I go into office? This must be the boss's office, since it's the only office. Hey, shouts one of the remaining doughboys. Get away from the door, you muffin forker! So that'd be back in Breadwood, where they like their breads and their bread-related products. Alright, I suppose we'll try and fight the other group of these, and, ouch. Let me try and apply the same tactic that I used last time. Yes. And this time, I'm not going to blow myself to Kingdom Come with a grenade that doesn't work. Let me wail on the saxophone. Excellent. Now, what else do I have? I have that, but that wouldn't be enough to kill anybody, would it? I could kill you. Yes, what are you going to do? You're Jack the Tosser and Ren the Tosser. Ren the Tosser intends to hurl a ball of slimy dough at Phil for sleaze damage. If you're from the same isle that I am, you might be familiar with a certain definition of the word tosser, which has certain connotations with hurling lumps of slimy substances at people for sleazy reasons. But we won't even talk about that. We will, Gabe the Loafer can't do what he was planning to do. Well, what a tragedy. I'm sure he'll survive. Let me splort him with some dough glob. Excellent. And now let me shoot him. There we are. This battle's going a bit better because I'm not helping them, basically. Let me try this. I want to see how much bleeding damage it does. Okay. Okay, not too bad then. Actually, pretty decent. I do kind of want to throw a hymn at you. Oh, it doesn't play the hymn. Oh, I wanted to hear the soundtrack of the hymn playing. That would have been cute. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Let us murder some more of these little demon people. Those dough balls couldn't stand your heat. I do bring a lot of heat. Probably. Okay then, right, now that I have defeated all of these villainous old cads, I feel like this is a thing I should probably take with me. Goodness knows how, but I feel I should do it. Let's go into the office and see what we find. The leader of the doughboys, identifiable by the fact he has a greasier hat and more ribbons on his jacket than the other doughboys, if not by the fact he's in the manager's office, and doesn't notice you when you enter. He appears to be focused on several large piles of wet dough laying on the floor in front of him. He seems a bit sad about life. Makes my stomach churn. If you were interested in the history of the Ocean City baking industry, this shelf of receipts would be a treasure trove. However, you are not. Okay, I can't actually go towards that desk, so I have to chat with him. The Bosdo boy has not taken notice of you yet. He's probably not so dense that you can get any closer to him before he does. Hello, friend. Well, who are you? Holver isn't really a bread. What? Oh, we're making another, like, minced oath, except with bread. I see. I have heard of Halva, but I have no idea whether it's bread or not. How are you? Oh, I'm not actually saying that isn't bread. Oh, alright then. He scowls at you angrily, trying to decide between yelling at you to go out or bragging about himself. I am Ross Doman Ciabitta, the best baker in the city. Nice to meet you. Now get out! No, I wish to continue having our conversations. What are you doing with all the piles of dough? Not that it's any of your business, but I am perfecting my recipe for bread golems. I'm sure I'm going to be running this town. You and what army? Me and my army of bread golems. Were you not listening? I probably shouldn't let you get away with this. I am so dead. You're a bit lucky to get away with your arms and legs. Rise, my minions, rise. Oh, funny. Funny. I didn't see that at first. Funny. He raises his arms wildly and the dough around him congeals into two large bread golems. Oh, I thought this was going to be an easy fight because he was going to be on his own. I love that they're made of baguettes and loaves and slices. That's adorable. Okay, you're a little villainous creature. Okay, you're not as strong as I thought you were going to be. I also love that you can see who they're going to attack so you can defend yourself appropriately. Right then, he intends to hurl a loaf of conjured bread, dealing 8 physical damage. Oh, goodness. I better start with this again for the sake of killing you. Yeah, because you're going to heal as well, which is very counterproductive. Let me, blast on my saxophone for a while. Plus that does 3 every round, actually, so that actually pays dividends. So it does. Maybe I should decrease some of your stats, because I can't really hit you with anything other than this, and I'm not doing that. Crying out loud. Yeah, let me heave some gross vegetables at you. Ew. And now, should I shoot you? Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you, because that will kill you and finish you off. So, let's not talk about finishing off tossers, and, allow life to continue. Oh, I thought you were aiming at me. I stand corrected. I'm gonna make you bleed. I'm gonna cut you deep, my friend. My enemy, actually, because I feel like this is gonna take a few rounds of doing. Bread swat. Was that what you did before? Goodness, you're tardy, aren't you? Man alive. I mean, I know bread doesn't rise quickly, but, you know, get on with it, gentlemens. Okay, right. I have an extra health point, please. Thank you very much. Good, the Sax of Violence blasted again. Okay, what am I going to do this time? What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to try and get a lot of damage into you, because I'm hoping that, yeah, he's only got 1 health point, so Obi can finish him off. So, allow me to strike a bang, and then shoot you in the face. Which isn't really what I recommend doing to an audience, so you know. We'll just have to, earth fiddlesticks and confound everything thrice over, and other such words of crossness. For crying out loud, this hasn't quite gone the way that I anticipated. Right, if you'd be so kind as to heal me up by a smidgen, thank you. Oh. The only thing half-baked about this was my planning. Okay, I stole the man's trousers. I don't want to know what's underneath them. What appears to be a pair of white pants is actually a pair of brown pants covered in flour. Naturally. I got some more special flour, and you have upgraded. I rather wish your ability to heal me would upgrade rather than your own health, but never mind. Okay, that was intense, but never mind. This is the boss's desk. Rifle through it and get 80 meat, along with the baby dough recipe. You found the recipe for the little blob guys that the doughboys use as familiars. Oh, can I cook one of them little fellas up? Is that a thing that I can do if I've got my mouse off the screen for 5 minutes? Can I make any of the little people? No, I can't make any of the little people. How do I make a little person? How do I do this? This is a recipe for one of those little dough globs. It requires for 3 cups of flour mixed up in something called a... What? Mixed up with something called sandwich cream and baked in an arcane oven. I don't think I have any sandwich cream. I should have to wait until I find some sandwich cream. Okay then, I think I have failed miserably to make a small person, but that's alright. I'm not very good at that department, so I shan't worry about this. And again, we're just going to leave all of this sugar here for reasons unknown. Okay then. Oh, what a game. Okay, so there's two little jobs I want to do. The first job is to go to the pier and get myself photographed wearing a chef hat. A pebble next to the sidewalk catches your eye. Using that exact same eye, you determine it is no ordinary pebble. It is a petrified espresso bean. You grab the bean and crush it into powder and get some energizing powder. Indeed, this is a naturally energizing compound. Nature speaks in mysterious ways, but not before it has had its coffee. Take that, you Mr. a Small Bean. Right then. Oh, we can go to the fortune teller as well now that I think about it. Let us get my hat. Oh, wrong hat. Sorry, I forgot to turn my hat off. I mean, switch my hat out. Here we are. Let me put this silly looking hat on that shows off some of my hair and looks slightly like a bum. Welcome back. Let me see what you're wearing. What is that? A chef hat? Excellent. Who is the meat? Which seems appropriate given the fact that I'm wearing a, oh god, please tell me the side gets bigger and bigger as the years go by. Where's my mouse gone? Thank you. Let me put my proper hat back on, wherever my proper hat has gone. Hats. I wish to put this one on, please. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, let's get our fortune told. I don't think we did this earlier. For a rating. The team takes your beat and begins. The first card reveals the past events that led you here. She draws a card, which she drops on the floor. She draws another card. The Baroness Flames. What does that mean? She stares at you intently. This card regards a tragedy in your history. Something about a carnival, perhaps. A carnival? That doesn't ring any bells. Alright. The next card is about your current situation. She draws a card and drops it on the floor. And then another. It is the Cardinal of Swords. Are you sure? She shrugs. This card means that you're on a boardwalk. Well, I suppose I can't argue with that. This was not worth the 50 meat. The last card reveals your future. She pulls a card from the bottom of the deck. This one is the Clown of Discs. I don't think the Clown of Discs... I don't know the first thing about tarot, but I don't think that's a real card. She smiles. Your future holds new pants. I imagine most people's futures hold new pants at some point or other. You spend a few moments thinking about the tarot reading, and then you realise it was a massive con, it was a huge waste of meat, and now we really ought to get on with our life. Alright, let's go back to the... I wanted to go back to the... Oh, here we are, yeah, the postbox. So I couldn't find the postbox at first. Let's go back to the postbox and give those snackle cakes over to the man that wanted them. A well-dressed man flags you down. Excuse me there, Michael Trapp, might you have a match on you? I'm afraid I don't, I'm very sorry. I'm afraid not. Well, that just won't do. Thank you, again. This happened before. What a strange exchange, indeed. It's like it knows when I need match, because we did make use of the match that we got the first time around. I can't remember where we used it, but we certainly used it somewhere. Okay, let's give him his cakes. Any luck with the cakes? I fancy some cakes. Thanks a million. Take some meat full of cakes. I'll also give you some sitting tips. You gain a perk, expert sitter. You're so good at sitting down that you make it look even easier than it normally is to sit down. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Marvin. I suppose that's quite kind of you. He's still on the mailbox, but thanks to you, he's no longer hungry, and I've upped my Moxie one. Excellent. I think that's the thing I shoot people with, so that's encouraging. Okay, let's see what other things we're doing. I want to use the grenades more for the sake of getting that done. They just invariably explode in my face, literally and figuratively. Okay then, I don't know where there's any cigarettes. Can we just wander like we could in the first game and see what we find? We can find a very cross-looking lady. Hands up, bucko. You're in Tin Lizzie's turf. This is a stick-up. You see a woman in oil-stained coveralls pointing a gun-like tool in your direction. What? Is that a caulking gun? Stick-up isn't usually such a literal phrase. I don't know what a caulking gun is, but never mind. Actually, it's a grease gun. There's more of a slick-up. Gross. Everyone's a critic. Give me your wallet. No, I'm going to grab your gun. You pull out your wallet and nervously fumble for it, dropping it at the woman's feet. When she growls and reaches for it, you swiftly grab her wrist and twist the grease gun out of her hand. Hey, it looks like the grease is on the other lug nut? Honestly, I don't know anything about cars. Oh, now I suddenly understand why I have no knowledge of this industry. You're going to regret messing with Tin Lizzies. I'm going to regret touching this filthy, greasy gun if you don't scram out of here. What does this do? Deals your Moxie plus 2 sleaze damage. It isn't really intended to be used as a weapon, but that never stopped anyone before. Nice. Kitty art. How does that compare with whatever my current weapon is? What am I using currently? I'm using the extra small one. So that's plus 2 physical damage, that's extra 2 sleaze damage. Why not? I just want to see what the animation of it being used is like if we find another battle. Alright, so we could... not that. We could... yeah, either bribe or defeat the mob guys. But that's going to require a fair amount of monies, and we just spent most of our monies. I don't know where to find the cigarette, and we don't know initially where to just find, like, a source of combat. So I suppose we'll do a bit more wandering for a while. See what else we can find. Nothing useful. As you're wandering through Ocean City, you see a couple of stranded motorists trying to change a car tire. Their efforts aren't amounting to squat, though, because they don't have a jack. Oh... well, I'm afraid I've got Jack that'll help you, but never mind. If I remember correctly, we encountered a something to do with the Charles Wallace handyman back at base. We should maybe go chat with him to see what that was all about. As you're walking past one of Ocean City's many disused public urinals, you notice that it has been filled up with ice cubes. To investigate it further, for some bloody reason, you notice that one of them isn't an ice cube at all, but a frozen rock. The difference being? You wipe the rock off, that's disgusting, and examine it, and then pound it into flakes, which is also quite disgusting. It's like snow, but in flake form. Can you even imagine? Frosty flakes. Please tell me I'm not putting this in my cereal. What is that? Is that a consumable? Is that a weapon? I don't know, I can't do anything with it. Okay, fine, whatever. Speak to me, man of hattedness. I saw your name in the visitors book at the, St. Polycarp's. Is there anything here? What? Good to see you. We've had quite a morning already. See that bookshelf over there? Just bought it. It's a real rare find. Came from 17th century cargo ship, the Must Flower. That's quite a provenance for a bookshelf. I think provenance is like the, history of an antique, if I remember correctly. Yes, it was the ship's wheel. Captain bought the Mustflower out of dock, couldn't steer, drove into a starfish, and the whole thing sank immediately. What on earth are you talking about? Never mind. I saw your name in the visitors book. Oh sure, I do a little whittling to pass the time now and again, and sometimes go by St. Polycarp's to look at their gargoyles. Here, have one. He opens his desk drawer and touches a little wooden gargoyle on a leather cord. A gargoyle charm. Oh. A little wooden gargoyle on a leather strap whittled by Charles Wallace. The base has the motto, "Keep on truckin'," carved into it. Hilarious. Is there anything that I can ask you with? Did you lose anything? I seem to have misplaced the chuck key to my drill. What? What's a chuck key? What's a chuck key, Charles? What's a chuck key, Chucky? Oh, funny. What's a chuck key? It's the twisty little thing... it's this really little thing for tightening the chuck on a drill. What's a chuck? Any idea where you lost it? It couldn't have gone too far. The cord on this thing must have got stuck in the outlet, and it's not that long enough for me to drill anything that isn't in this neighbourhood. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know the first thing about DIY. I'll go and look for it though. That'd be great. Like I said, it's got to be nearby. Just wandering around. I'm sure it'll turn up. There's a... oh, kids, yeah. I know. I'm more than aware that we'll later have random encounters without going anywhere. You can also wander while looking at the map of prison space. I'll try that now. Okay. This could be a short... well, there we go. That was a short quest, wasn't it? So short I didn't even have time to say it was short. There's a glint of metal underneath a nearby bush. This must be his key. Oh, whoopty frickalicious doodle. Okay. Let me speak to you. I found your thing. Thank you. Where did you find it? Under a bush. Ah, probably the bush I was drilling holes in the other day. Is that just meant to be like a tutorial? Because if so, fair enough. Here's that door to nowhere again. Still just a brick door behind it. Fair dues. Fair dues. Okay. Okay then. Let me see what else we have got round here. I think... yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can do on this street for the moment. So I guess the only thing we can really do is try to get into the factory, except I doubt we're going to have enough money. But let's see what we find. Oh no, not you guys again. You stop dead in your tracks when you see 3 of those weird fishmen lurking in the mouth of an alleyway up ahead. They're peering around with their glistening, staring eyes and glubbing at each other quietly until one of them notices you. It and its 2 companions start stalking towards you, making wet growling sounds. What even are you guys? Well, goodness. How curious. What are you, evil invaders? Are you natives that were displaced by urban development seeking to reclaim what is rightfully yours? The fishermen confer briefly. Evil? Okay, thanks, as long as we're on the same page. Fight them, shove past them, soda in the hole! Cola Wars grenades or soda in the hole dubious cola grenades? Oh, fine, I guess I need to get that one sorted out. You shake the dubious soda can until the ball starts to rattle, then pop the tab and hurl it at the fisherman. It explodes in a spray of sweet carbonated water, which they like, and glittering aluminium shrapnel, which they don't. The combination of these 2 conflicting emotions confuses them pretty enough for you to escape. Excellent. At least it worked this time. For crying out loud. Did that count as my 3rd use of it? Yes, it did, indeed. Okay, I didn't realise that those things were actually considered squiffy grenades, even combat items, were they? Yeah, they are the dubious ones. Okay, so there are standard grenades as well, rather than these slightly squiffy ones. Alright, how much did this cost again? Oh, I could go for 300. Oh, I kind of really want to fight them first. I'll probably get my ass handed to me, but I'm going to try. Oh, dear. He is preparing to deliver an inspirational speech. Well, good for him. He's the kneecapper. He intends to hit me for 8 damage, which is quite a lot. He intends to punch him for 9 physical damage. He intends to... what? He intends to clobber him with the butt of his shotgun. Why not shoot me, you muppet? Okay, let me always begin with my sax, because there's never a better opening than a saxophone. And then let me attempt to do a little bit of violence, I suppose. What could I do? I could do this, but if this dies, if this goes wrong even, everything's going to go wrong. Let me lick a battery. I mean, naturally. Let me see. Who do I want to hit in the face with the stick? I think I want to hit probably you, because you're the one that's trying to hurt me. So I'm going to... are that just 2 physical damage? Oh, it's weaker this time? I thought it was dealing more the first time. Never mind. Let me hit you for some spookalicious damage with my hymnal. Quite. And then I'll grease you for 3 sleaze damage. That's a lot less than my gun was doing. Does he have some sort of... oh, he has sleaze armor! Little sticks! A butt strike! Leave my butt alone! For crying out loud. Okay, I suppose we should just hit somebody in the face as quickly as possible before we get even further embarrassed. Okay, goon punch. Ow. What does the inspirational speech do? Did it do anything? I feel like it probably healed. Okay, that's better. Okay, let me see. What can I do now? If all the sleaze damage... oh, it's not. It's just him with the sleaze damage. Oh, mind you, even with the sleaze damage, it still only does 3 damage to him. This is... oh, no, it's done. Oh, it's because they've reduced my moxie, isn't it? I'm stupid. Let me strike up the band for the sake of killing you, because I'm sick to death of you. And then let me shoot you in the face, because I'm also sick to death of you. That's better. I also love that this gun doesn't have enough... this gun doesn't have enough range for me to shoot him from here. I see, the inspirational speech is upping all of their stats. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, let me toot my snoot at you. I am so frickin' dead. Okay, I could kill you, but then you're still going to be alive. Oh, and both of you are going to attack me now, which means I'm basically completely dead because I've only got enough... I can't even survive 1 hit from you. Unless I heal myself. If If I could heal myself and kill one of them, I could survive to the next round. Could I kill you? Perhaps. 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 Let me use this. Oh, and I can do this as well. I'd forgotten I still have an AP point, don't I? I do indeed. Okay. Let me strike up the bandage you. Because that ends you as a problem in my life, and also as a person on Earth. And then let me sleazelize you in the face. Then he'll take another 3 damage from his, from life in general. There we are. Now he's only got 4 health left. And I might just be able to kill him if I do the 2 physical damage from an orchestral strike, and then I sleaze grease gunnalize you. That was pretty impressive. It was also pretty close. Man alive, that was amazing. I am shocked I survived that, but hey. It allows us to be frugal. Sorry for getting so roughed up there. Do you know anything about the hobo code? Oh, haven't I? I know a glyph or two. Oh, I thought I'd already gotten some stuff from you, but never mind. Thank you, friend. Thank you for upgradalizing me. Okay, we can explore this place for a few minutes now. Yeah, we'll still go for another 10-15 minutes or so. It's a refrigerated truck, not the kind you're probably thinking of. What? I'm thinking of a truck who has like a big refrigerator in the back for like storing meat and stuff. If 2 counts as a fleet, this is a whole fleet of these things. What on earth is going on over here? It's all spangly and sparkly. Just a pool of chemicals. Allow us to do some fishing. I noticed a little box there in the background as well. That might be interesting. What did I get? Some more miscellaneous chemicals. Excellence and happiness. Right. Sorry, pressed the wrong button. There are weird flies buzzing around this barrel of free grid industrial. I have no idea what free grid means. I sincerely apologise. There's a pretty flower going out of this patch of frosty industrial waste. It's probably a metaphor for something you don't understand because you're stupid because you're Phil, but never mind. Boxes of miscellaneous discarded industrial junk. What can I find in them? A refrigeration coil. How curious. What can I use this for? This is also some sort of magic charge didgeridoo. You can't figure out anything useful to do with it. You could always just sell it. Okay, so are there some things that you can just sell? Because I remember that in West Loathing, it said at the bottom sometimes, just sell it, to imply that it wasn't actually useful for anything. But, let's see what else we have got around here. These barrels are rimmed with frost, but they rhyme with carols. Funny. Right then, the little toolbox has been left in here to rust. You get some spray on asbestos that isn't in the slightest bit dangerous. Adds +1 hot armor to a pair of pants. And a sharpening stone. Adds 1 bonus damage to a weapon. Can I use this on my... I don't want to use this anymore. I'm sick of this. I want this instead. Let me use this on my tiny... what? Sharpen it? Yes, please. I don't really know how you sharpen a gun to make it better, but never mind. Does some sharpening the bullets, perhaps. There we are. Does a bit of extra damage. Would be frickin' doodle. What was the other thing I could do? I can do this on my pants. I don't really want to spray asbestos on my pants, but okay, I'm going to spray asbestos on my pants. Yes. You spray the asbestos on all of your pants, rendering them fireproof. Safety first. Definitely. For crying out loud. That's really, really frickin' stupid, but okay. Opening this door would make a lot of noise and draw a lot of attention. Also, you don't know how to open it. Okay, allow me to go inside of the... of course. Naturally. I should have guessed this place would be full of fridges. This workbench doesn't seem big enough to make refrigerating repairs, but I can still make things. I can make basic combat items. What can I make? Radioactive solve. Oh, these look really good, actually. Gain 2 AP. I really want that, actually. Some energizing powder. Yes, I'll make that, please. I'd also like the restore 10 health and cure the bleeding stuff. Feel like that will come in handy later. You squeeze the powder into a vice until you cannot squeeze it anymore. Homemade pep pill. You made this with 0 medical training. Even referring to it as a pill is probably against some kind of medical regulation. You mix the grit with some grout and end up with a griot. Since griot is too hot to say, you'll call it a fresh spackle instead. Okay, fine. There's absolutely no reason you can't apply the principles of drywall repair to emergency medicine. I think there's every reason, but never mind. Anything in here? Oh good, some anarchist hardware. What is this? A collection of pipes and can fuse, and, well, mostly just pipes and can fuse. Anarchy is pretty straightforward. What on earth are you talking about? Some 11-in-1 oil, a potion. According to the fine print on the can, 11 of the world's religions are actually part of a larger secret religion understood by an old man who owns the company that makes the oil. Right. Self-adhesive rivets. It's always good to have some of these on hand in case you have some emergency pant repairs. Applies one physical armor to your pants. Well, we are upgrading the pants, so let's make them self-adhesive fireproof pantaloons. Yes, fireproof pantaloons, add the rivets to them indeed. You place the rivets on your pants, making them pants with more rivets on them than they had before. Excellent, they are now riveted fireproof pants. Riveting. Can I interact with any of the fridges? These fridges are brand new and empty, and thus quite boring. They're probably also not plugged in. Okay, what fancy things can I make with the anarchists' didgeridoo-dolls? I can make an ice bomb, a benzol bucket, some abrasive discus, or a nuclear bomb. That sounds brilliant. I definitely want a nuclear bomb. Can I make another nuclear bomb? No, I can't. That's a shame. Let me make this benzol bucket as well, which looks rather curious. Here we are. It's a bucket of petroleum distillates, and conveniently it's already on fire. Oh, it's a Molotov cocktail. You might have mentioned that. Dear oh dear oh dear oh dear. What about this nuclear bomb? A deadly blend of old-timey iconography and some newly fangled atomic technology in your face, Oppenheimer. Okay. Fine. Well, that will come in handy for the next big fight we get into. There's a crane control station here. Curious. The control booth is locked from the inside. Somebody's going to be in big trouble. It looks like something's going on here. Let us hide and see what's going on. It's all there, all 40 cases. It's all there, Gluck. You got the meat? Mr. Pondiexer. Surprise inspection. What the hell is going on? Curious. What happened to his face? I was only protected because of my sunglasses. What the heck? I've got my hand on the wrong part of the keyboard. This is broken. No time to check this out. I should see what's going over yonder ways. What the hell is happening? There seems to be a bit of a standoff between the mob guys and the other gentlemen. The scary top hat nerd. Excuse me? I am not in the slightest bit scary. I am perfectly pleasant. Stares at you with barely any expression on his face apart from a sinister sneer. It appears we have an interloper, and you are Pitkin Scott. I'm puddin' tame. I'm an honest boy. This is me. What's wrong with your hat? I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. It's spooky and beautiful. I have no time for nonsense, Mr. Gluck. Crying out loud. That looks a tiny bit like Arabic if it was kind of upside down, back to front, and written while drunk. Curious. Regardless, please dispatch the interloper. Uh-oh. The top hat guy gives you a taunt nod and then leaves the same way he came in a horrible, weird spiral of negative space. The weird shadow monster that was once a person turns to face you. Hello? Hello? How are you today? The shadow begins to gather around him, abstract, vanishing shapes. Hey, you mob guys, can you give me a hand with this? Yeah, can I have some friends, please? Can you give me a hand with this? Considering the newly terrifying Mr. Gluck is between us and the exit, it seems like we've no choice. Take on Mr. Gluck. Oh, goodness. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about what I have for dinner tonight, but that isn't the point. What I'm thinking about is this. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking of doing a physical bomb. I mean a nuclear bomb, which I suppose are physical in their own way. But let me bomb you. That did not do nearly as much damage as I thought it was going to do. That did not work in the slightest. Let me saxalize you. You're spoiling my music, you smelly man. Alright, that seems to have gotten the situation into a much better realm of pickle. I don't actually know if we're going to need the mob guys, because Obi might be able to finish him off. Oh no, not quite. Alright, let's toot the toot in. Thank you, friend. You did contribute, and of this I appreciate. I've probably now got to fight you guys now, don't I? With the shadow creature defeated, the two mob guys brushed themselves off. This caper's all got me all balled up. And how this whole scene is nutty as a squirrel's mistress. Come on, and let's a scary amscree. I think you mean scram, but never mind. They tip their hats to you and make for the door. Thanks, friends. Thanks for helping out. Okay, how very confusing. That bomb did not work. The weird thing is they had spooky armor, I think. So it would have been useless to use a spooky weapon on them. But I would have thought the nuclear bomb was doing physical damage, so surely that would have done the 10 damage, but only seemed to do about 5. Most mysterious. I do not understand these things. He mostly dissolved into a cloud of that weird shadow stuff, but there are a few objects on the ground: a pocket watch, a bank pouch, and official-looking documents of sorts. A dangerous pocket watch. This ticking of the pocket watch seems somehow hollow and ominous. You don't like it. It's a combat item. It's just wrong. I'm sure it is. A bank pouch full of meat. Any cash payments that's too small for a briefcase must be contained in a leather zip pouch. It's law. Right. Again, surely leather pouches are made of meat too. Never mind. And the deed to the speakeasy. It is a legal document regarding an illegal establishment. Naturally, take a quick look at the document. It turns out Gluck was the owner of the speakeasy, and now you are, maybe. Is that how deeds work? I don't think so. But alright. Can we get some spooky little booze, please? This booze looks dangerous, and it also appears to be tainted with some kind of sinister magical energy. Okay. This fridge is plugged in, with a little note saying experimental and not for lunches. What's inside? The fridge has been fitted with an experimental auto ice cube maker. Unfortunately, it's made one single gigantic ice cube that's filled the entire fridge. I guess if you ever need a block of ice as big as you are, you know where you can get it. Okay, fair enough. You don't have to leave the building that way, you know. Oh, yeah, no, I do know. I just, you know, I just feel like, you know, Skyrim, Fallout, you know, we kind of do it this way. Okay, so can we decurse the thing that we found, the pocket watch, and like we did with my hat, rather than keeping it so dangerous. What is my other offhand item? Oh, that's my unpleasant hymnal. Oh, naturally. I love that all my offhand items are seriously cursed. Let me see if I can do that. Can I do anything here? What would you like to uncurse? The dangerous pocket watch, please. The machine snorts the pocket watch up into its dome and begins its strange and loud. Do I still need to sit in it, even if it's a hat? The pocket watch is pulled this way and that. Its ticks become kits, and its tocks becomes cocks, or possibly, I don't know. And it's also 3 hands are forcibly bent back, and you swear you can hear it screaming. And then it is done. The watch falls in your laps. Its hands are now set to this time, which is now, I believe, or at least the time it was when we pressed the button. Okay. Oh, that seems a bit less mystical. I kind of wish we hadn't done that now. Okay. I mean, it's still useful and all, but never mind. Now that it's free of the taint of the Shadow's energy, it's just a regular boring watch. If you think about it, though, being on time for things is sort of like a magical power, I suppose, if you don't understand how time works. Which, admittedly, most of us don't, but never mind. In your mind's eye, you see the eyes of the eyes. In your mind's eye, you look at a piece of screen that has words written on it, but you fail to read them because you're a dunce named Phil. In your mind's eye, you see the hands of a pocket watch spin back on themselves with violence. With each revolution, the face of the watch itself expands until it is larger than you, the building, and the street. Your whole world lives in a blur of the fast-running hands, in which you see life go by in reverse time. Submarines turn to longships, cities to stone dwellings, and cowboys to courtiers. You are travelling faster and faster to the beginning of time itself. There's no telling when the ride will end. Hold on to tight! Message is 1. What's the message? There's nobody you should call right now. What's the message it says? You check the message pad next to the phone. The note reads, Dinosaur. There's no phone number. Eat the phone. Eat Jessica. Eat Gabby. Oddly, I don't want to eat these things. Can I have a sleep? Open the door with 10 dexterity. What's dexterity? What stat is that? With those 2 salad forks? No, you lack the opposable thumbs necessary to turn a doorknob. You're completely contained in here unless you figure out how to open doors. I don't know anything about dexterity. I'm a dinosaur. Rawr, indeed. Open the door, eat Jessica, eat Charles, eat Gabby, eat Cat, and then no thank you. Please tell me this isn't real. What did it say? Unstitch the rug with 200 dexterity. What is bloody dexterity? Eat the chessboard or play chess. Knock the chair over. Okay, well, I can do that. You gained a dexterity point. Why do I gain dexterity by knocking things over? Can I go through the door of mysticism? No. Okay. The radio isn't tuned to a station. I don't want to eat the cat. Oh, gosh. Is there nothing I can do with my 2 dexterity or whatever it is that I've got? Oh, no. Everyone seems so happy. Oh, if I could just get 1 more dexterity. I don't want to eat anyone. I do not know what to do. I feel like I'm going to do bad things if I start eating people. I suppose I could eat the phone. That wouldn't destroy the desk drawer, would it? Let me eat the phone. Did I gain a dexterity? Attend thy temper. What are you talking about? I feel like I'm genuinely going to cause some horrible things. Let me see. If I go back, is the phone still there? Yes. Okay. That implies that my mouse is in the wrong place. I'm sorry about that. That implies that if I do things here, or rather, if I do things in the crazy world, it doesn't. It doesn't damage things here. Right, I feel like I need a whole week to process what's going on at the moment. Did I ever get enough in order to do this? Do the Snowman's Night of Defense. How should I? Those apples. Oh no. So I need lots of various different things in order to do the Rook's toilet maneuver. Okay, never mind. I'm clearly going to lose, so let's just accept the fact that I'm going to lose and lose horrifically. Yes, I know. I've lost. It's okay. Right. Next week, we will return to the Dino Dindins of Dexterity deliberations. And for now, we will leave it at that, I think. Okay, that was interesting. We solved a murder. We met a magician. We murdered some chefs. We murdered some dough monsters. And we became a dinosaur. Right. I mean, the whole reason of doing these 90-minute episodes was so that I could give you more each week. And that was a lot to give you. Okay, my voice is very hoarse now, so I shall say thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. This is a very bloody weird game. You know the other thing that really confuses me, random side point? I've been playing this game for probably about 4.5 hours now, and I've earned none of the achievements. Does that mean the achievements are just for kind of optional things, and there's no like story-related ones? Because I'd imagine if there were some story-related ones, we'd have probably got some by now, unless this game is like 20 years long. But we shall see. That will have to wait for next week. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.